All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Terry Eagle. Terry, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be selected to be on your show today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have really been looking forward to this. And before we even get rolling, I want to just start by giving a shout out to Nina McCandless, because I had I found out about the quoted platform probably about a year ago from a friend of mine. And I have been using that platform over the last year, and I have found some amazing guests from using that platform. And Nina had responded to a post that I had put up there looking for some great podcast guests. And I'll tell you what, she did such an amazing job of talking you up that by the time I got through reading what she wrote to me, I was like, oh my gosh, heck yes, I want to talk with Terry and get to know her. And of course, you and I already had that conversation. And of course, I've been looking forward to doing the interview with you. And here we are. But yes, Nina, if you happen to be listening to this, or Terry, if you talk with Nina, I just had
Yes,
to give her a shout out, because without her, you and I may have never met.
that's true.
And
Thank you. Thanks,
and
Kevin.
so yeah,
She
so
was so
thank you.
excited to have, connected us. So
For
absolutely,
sure,
thank you.
for sure. Well, I'll tell you, I've been looking forward to this, and I'm just going to start with a really simple question to get us rolling, and then we'll start digging in deeper. What do you do, Terry, and who do you serve?
Thank you. What I do, I am the founder and CEO, 1 year new, Kevin, of Terry Eagle Group.
Okay.
This is a dynamic, experienced team of executives that I formed together to advise and consult on a fractional basis with founder-led, family-led, private equity, and merger and acquisition business firms that might need everything we offer, from my five-time CEO of 25 plus years
Wow.
experience to my team that you'll see on my website.
Yep.
And I have every aspect of the business covered. And I formed the company a year ago wanting to spread my eagle wings and help and make companies better, Kevin. So now I have the great pleasure to be able to partner with more than one firm and go in and do my magic.
Yeah. So a year into this, what inspires you most about the work that you get to do and the impact you guys are making, Terry?
I love this question, Kevin. I also like that you didn't give any in advance. You're just, okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
I love this because you never know what a day will bring, and no one teaches you how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
My whole career has been walking in and having, the goals and the decisions that the founders or the board or, executive management may have set forth, and you strive through the years to achieve those goals. As I've gone out on my own, working with clients that have their dreams, their vision, their passion, and to partner and listen, learn, and really dive in. And I I'm enjoying this part of using all the years of experience, not only with me, but with my team, and feeling really proud of what we can deliver. And I'm not just coming in and being an advisor. I have the information, I have what the needs are, and I listen, I learn, and then roll up my sleeves, and I am a worker bee. So I get a kick out of who has invited me into their world. And you just have to be part of the family. And I'm very proud because I've worked in founder-led businesses almost my whole career.
Okay.
after I left L'Oreal and Montblanc, I made that path with David Yurman and Sybil Yurman with the fantastic Yurman brand and the Schumacher family. And I was part of the family, but I wasn't like legally adopted. But Kevin, I was adopted into their world, and I get it when I'm in the environment. So I have a leg up on that. But I have learned so much through the years that I'm really proud to share at this point in my career.
Yeah. So what how did you get into doing it? What made you decide you wanted to start this business a year ago and start going down this path?
I decided I've always been a risk taker. I moved
Okay.
from Seattle, Washington to Dallas, Texas with L'Oreal. I then was promoted on to New York City, my dream to live in the city and work in the city. And I thought, you can do this. You can launch your own firm, but I didn't want to do it on my own. I've shared this with so many people, Kevin. I wanted to have the teams that I've loved my whole career. So
Uh-huh.
I sought out amazing leaders, and I only have one that had worked with me through my career in three different roles that joined me. So I wanted to learn from new people on my new team and all their diversified skills. So I had, oh, I've said this, I don't even like cappuccino that much, but I had a lot of cappuccinos and met with a lot of people for about 4 or 5 months. And I had written a business plan and I said, I'm not doing this by myself. I'll go squarely. I want to have, and we have weekly meetings. We talk to each other every day. And we've become really close friends, which is fun.
Yeah.
And it's run totally as if we're in an office. But we have our Zoom meetings, then we meet a couple times a year in person because they're all over the USA.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. I love that because you're right. It's great getting together on Zoom, and man, I mean, what an amazing technology this is for us. But it's also great getting together in person too and stuff.
Yes, I
And
love it. And that's something I'm doing now, Kevin, on with all new client visits. I'll get on a plane, I'll drive to Connecticut, I'll go wherever, but I want to sit and talk and look each other in the eye and get to the bottom of what the needs are and what are your dreams, what are your concerns, what are the pain points and I have a book on every client and I make all the notes and I meet a few times just to make sure I've got it down right, and I write a roadmap for them, and then we agree and we get to work. And I work on 6 month. For now, it works very nicely
Mhm.
because I don't want them to get tired of me, Kevin. So I like to get in, get it done, and I have been asked back. So it's always fun to have a continue on with the date, if you
Yeah.
will. So
Yeah.
on the fifth month, we sit down, I write my own report card and see where we want to go. And I'm really proud of it. So yes, it's good.
That's well, there's some real alignment between what you're doing and what I do because I do the same thing. I start with a 6 month engagement just so we can get traction going, and then after that,
Yes,
I just go month to month, and ideally they'll stay with me for a long time.
right.
And but yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
So what is what's a result that you've helped a client get? And we don't have to name names here. You can if you want. Totally your call.
Okay.
But what's a result that you've helped a client get that you're just incredibly proud of, Terri?
I am extremely proud of a client that finally made the decision. And I was courting him because I knew from the first few lunches we had that he could use my expertise.
Okay.
And he is a very prominent designer and manufacturer.
Okay.
And he is growing by leaps and bounds. And those pain points are good and crazy and scary and all the
Yep.
things.
Yep.
And be careful what you wish for when all this comes together in one fell swoop. And so over the fall period, last summer, last fall, it was really getting some severe growing pains. And
Uh-huh.
we had a lunch in the fall, and I love sharing this story because he is has incredible eye for design, and I have loved this part of my career, really respecting and understanding high design. And he has it, and we got together in November, and he said, I want to tackle my profit first. And within 4 months, the profit has had about a 35% increase.
Wow. Wow.
And we made some new changes, which I can't disclose, obviously for confidential reasons. But I took my background, I asked what systems policies were in place, and we gathered together and put new pricing formulas in, and every last aspect of renegotiating old contracts and just diving in for dollars that maybe were sitting on the table and making a clean path on the back of the house. And Kevin, people like what I do on the front of the house, and I'm proud of going into businesses. And first, we look at the back of the house,
Mhm.
and nothing surprises me. Kevin, there is not a CEO job that has been open that I've had that the back room is pretty, if you know what I
Sure.
mean.
Sure.
So there's always some story, some something, and I
Yep.
love digging in and cleaning it up and doing what needs to be done and move the business forward. And so that is what I have done with this very incredible business and brand. And we're going on 6 months. And I was asked, I did my report card on the fifth month, as I said I
Okay.
would in my agreement. I wrote down all the things because I think it's important to don't just keep going and assume. Like, I wanted to get the feedback, so I took the person to lunch, the client to lunch, the same place we signed up to do this together. We
Uh-huh.
went back and we had lunch together, and I presented what we accomplished. And then I said, now what's your feedback? And I said, there still are a couple things I think and as you know, we agreed we would hold off on this because we're still working on some of the growth aspects of the business. And my client said, Terri, the only thing that I want is more of you.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, it was such a great compliment
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
like, it was a hard road, I will tell you, Kevin, but he has been so genuinely passionate about what we're doing together. What he has, I don't have, and what I don't have, he has, and we've been a real dynamic duo.
Yeah.
And his team is incredible. I love them too. So it's, but I spend enough time with the clients that I know we're going to have fun together. We're going to be successful and it'll be a good run. And if they aren't needing more of my time, I bet I get a good reference for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that has just got to be so just incredibly rewarding on a personal level. Because, man,
It
I know how
is.
it makes me feel when I just get to have such a big impact on people's lives. And it just makes you feel good, you know? It's
Right. Yes,
yeah,
it does.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, okay, so now that we've got some context set here and people have a little bit of an idea about who you are and what you're all about, I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to start talking about the relationship side of this. So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons. And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships, Terri.
Okay, Kevin. May I have a personal and professional?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I actually have the benefit of both.
Okay.
So everyone tells me I'm not short on my story. So, but I actually like to start with the first person I met on the first day I was born,
I love it.
my dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Mr. Magical Dad. Bill, William. Uh, he was incredible my whole life. And he only looked at me harshly, looked a couple times when I was like 5. I actually love pink, and I actually got a team of 5-year-olds to pick the cherry blossoms off the neighbor's tree. 5 years old, like I was so little. I don't know how we scoured that tree, but the neighbor lady wasn't very happy. But my dad kind of gave me the eye, like you really can't do that, Terry. That is not going to go over very well again. But he never was like upset with me, and if he did look kind of strange, I was so like crushed. And he just had this incredible way of he worked so hard his whole life,
Okay.
Kevin, but he always had quality time for me. And he just had a life balance that he gave back. And, they say no one teaches anyone how to be a parent. You learn along the way. But he is ultra gold stars in my eyes. And he used to love, sadly, my dad passed in 2020, not of the COVID, but he did pass then. But he lived to a few days past 89. He had a goal to be 90. So, dad, you almost got there. So,
Yeah.
but I was out in Seattle when all that happened, and I couldn't see him before the COVID, but it was fast, and he was magical, and he was always healthy his whole life. And when he retired, he grew dahlias. My dad was always very competitive, and he showed them at the Puyallup State Fair. And if he didn't get the blue ribbon and the whatever big ribbon, it was high drama in the household. So all the way from the time I think he was a young man, he not only did he work hard, but he was a high achiever. He had a pizza chain for years with his brother in Washington State, Pizza Pete. And then in his late 40s, he took everything he had and borrowed a little bit of money from my grandparents and opened an Italian restaurant with my mom in Sumner, Washington.
Okay.
And it was incredible. I mean, it just overnight, he did a little bit of marketing and they flocked. It was a Boeing suburb, and it just really did well. And my dad was just a great businessman. And he loved the courtship, and he loved to make things nice for people. And my mom was a wonderful business partner. So they did that for 25 years and sold it to their manager. Like how cool is that? Like a 10-year note, and brought him in, and that's the kind of people they were. And they retired young and healthy and had a great retirement as well. But during that time, because I moved from Seattle, got relocated to Dallas with L'Oreal Cosmetics, and
Okay.
wanted to be in New York City, I would fly out, Kevin, and sit with Dad. And he never wanted to go anywhere. It's like, let's just sit together and visit. I want to hear all about you. And he loved to advise. Oh my, master of advice. And I felt like I couldn't do anything without calling Dad or running it by him. So he
Hmm.
loved a great Merlot wine, and I would go to the wine shop and pick the best Washington State Merlots. And, we would sit and have a glass of wine together and chat over these long weekends. That's about all we had because I was always traveling.
Okay.
And so that's my first and forever. I could tell a zillion stories about that guy in my life, but forever love and magic, and just gave his soul
Yeah.
to his family, his friends, and to his daughter, me.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What a beautiful relationship that is for you
Thank
guys,
you. And
Yeah.
Kevin, I want to share with you, like at the end, he walked away. He didn't walk away, but he partnered with, he had a partnership with the Pizza Pete chain.
Uh-huh.
And then he became an entrepreneur. And someone asked me when I went on my own, like, did your dad have this influence? Because in my book, I share the importance that he set the stage in my life. And now it's true. Like I see that I did have that confidence in my heart and soul that I can do it. Dad's watching and he knows I'll just make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. And that is so cool because both my parents are passed away too, but I know that they're watching, and
Yeah,
and I know how proud they would be of their son, and
yes,
and
sure
my
enough.
dad passed away when I was very young. In fact, I was only 16 when my dad passed away. And I remember from the youngest age, my dad's advice to me was always, Kevin, the harder you work, the more successful you'll be. And that
Hmm.
was his experience, and he worked as a
Yeah.
commercial fisherman in Alaska back in the
Okay.
60s and stuff. And when I started working as a commercial fisherman in 1988 at 23 years on Alaska's Bering Sea, I remember, like, man, Dad, I hope you can see me now because, man, you got to be proud because, man, this is some doggone work right here.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
but and I know he gave me his best advice, but I also found out along the way that, you know what, you don't have to work really hard. It doesn't have to be this nose to the grindstone experience to be successful either. And there's
Right.
other ways to go about it too. But you know what? I always appreciate that. And like, yeah, I'm like, Dad would be proud, Mom would be proud. And we just know that. And it just, and it's good. It's good. Well, I know
Hmm.
you had somebody
And
else you want to honor too. And so I want to make sure and
well,
give you.
I do. Thank you. My very best friend, Lael Paul,
Okay.
she, someone I met in high school trying out for cheerleading in Washington State. And we met, we became forever friends, and we never had an issue between us. And she just was like president of my fan club for my whole life, Kevin.
Wow.
Like, and she became a very, she became a doctor, the world's greatest mom, the bestest friend. Last summer, she had a very special birthday. I flew out to Seattle and hosted a party for her with, I had to do the toast. Lael, honey, I thought I was the only bestie. There's 12 other besties in the room. So all the best friends were all together to celebrate her because, Kevin, life is so short. My bestie got ALS.
Oh, wow.
So she passed in November this last year, and a few of us she just had a beautiful eulogy celebration of life in April. And that lady, my goodness, Kevin, it would always be enough about me. Tell me how this new business is going. And she was so into my career my whole life.
Wow.
And, she was just beautiful inside, outside, and just couldn't get enough of life she lived, how we say, vicariously through
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um, but we were just so close, and that's a miss that I have now for sure in my life without my Lael.
Yeah.
But she had a huge, profound impact on
Yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah. Isn't it so interesting that we have those friends who are just rooting us on, just cheering us on
Yes,
and everything, who are our biggest fans, our biggest cheerleaders, and that we can, there's nothing we can't accomplish in their eyes. And I'll tell
yes.
you, it is, man, just to have those people just saying, come on, you
Mhm.
got this, and just right there by our side the whole way. I mean, it is invaluable. And
Right, right.
yeah,
And I think what it taught me also along the way, Kevin, is I have some really special friends, and love them up. Like for the longest time, when those mid time of your career, you're like working, you're like, day and night. But I try and write the notes. I try and remember the birthdays, but more than ever, like just don't forget to pick up the phone. And, I know because we've become such text mavens, but just truly to keep in touch and take the time. And we all, think that way, but it just, what a, hard situation to be without my girl, but I have a lot of girls in my life that I love and adore that are just fabulous in their own way. And two people, Deborah Clem, who was my vice president of finance,
Okay.
two-time CFO, worked with me for 20 years of my career.
Wow.
So I built this incredible friendship with her, and we built some amazing businesses together. So we were able to form a bond that just has been lifetime love.
Yeah.
And she is the one that gave me for the holiday a couple years ago, Kevin. I thought it looked like a new desk set. And the girl presented me when I got it all open with the pink bow and all the things and a pretty card. Oh, Deb, like you shouldn't have. I thought for sure it was a new desk set. Kevin, I opened it. She had purchased a velvet hammer.
Wow. Wow.
And then she had it engraved because the things we would do together in business negotiation and how we
Uh-huh.
would deliver a hard message, a good message. But she had it engraved with a beautiful message about my leadership.
Uh-huh.
And it's something that I actually treasure. And you can have the velvet hammer and do it nicely. And so she's one that I'm really proud to have uh, built businesses with
Yeah.
David Yerman, Schumacher, and Maureen Lee. She's a talent to reckon with too. So she was a CFO, but a very talented business person, marketing head, and
Okay.
loved what we did together. And
Okay.
complemented with that is someone young, vibrant, Serene Campos, a young executive that I had the pleasure working with for more than 6 years in my last firm in bridal. And I'm really proud to say, Kevin, that she also has become an entrepreneur in the last year with her own bridal business.
Nice.
And so I found that at the same time we took these steps together, and our friendship is beautiful. It's really we get each other really well, and she is a five-star boutique. All of her clients in less than 6 months, she's received all 5 stars on Google in her Boca Raton um, carte blanche bridal boutique, and so I'm
Wow.
ultra proud of her because we spent 6 years together. She's a magical marketer, but she's a great business person. Um, and then one of my most recent clients that I feel so proud to have been introduced to as my kind of grand finale to think about the span of your career is Mark Jupiter.
Okay.
He is a very talented business person. He actually he's an artisan of the finest wood collections of whatever your dreams are, from the highest point of retail to your home to executive offices. And honestly, he gets it he's an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, and he knows how to take care of the people around him, his family, his friends. And I'm new in his world, but I get these incredible notes of appreciation. And I've learned a lot from him too. I felt like I was that person. He has taken it to a whole new step up of taking time out to say thank you and have appreciation. And I wanted to share that with you. Just you can't train that, but he hasn't had like a business that he's a corporation. He is from the ground up building his own business. I'm so proud to have him as one of my clients and partners, and now a new friend, honestly. And to finish some work with him one day and walk to the subway, and you get this note of thank you. And I just really admire who he is, his many talents, and he's sought after all over the world for his work, and he's one of a kind in personal and professional.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's, you are an incredibly blessed person I mean, heck, we both are, Terry. We
Yes.
both are.
Yeah.
Just
We were
to have,
meant to meet, Kevin.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we are just surrounded by amazing people in our lives, and we have just been blessed with some of the most valuable relationships, and and I'll tell you, that just I never get tired of hearing these stories by doing interviews for this podcast and stuff. And even though we always talk about relationships, but there's all the stories are always so dramatically different because relationships are just so unique.
Mhm.
And I love the stories and the examples that you've shared here. And so, for
Thank you.
anyone listening to this and just thinking to themselves, Kevin, man, I just really like Terry. You can just tell she has such a huge heart. And she's got a world of expertise behind her and stuff. And like maybe she can help us out, or maybe they've got a friend that they're thinking that they might like to introduce you to.
Mhm.
Any website, any resources we can share. And also, you mentioned your book. I want to make sure you get to talk about your book a little bit too, and
Thank
who
you.
would be a great fit to check that out. So,
Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. First of all, the book, I my publisher is Forbes, so I feel very proud that they contacted me, and I am I have to show it, Kevin.
yeah.
It's the Champagne CEO.
Okay.
It is a gold star Amazon bestseller in 10 business plus categories. And it's a sparkling journey of success through courage, confidence, and collaboration. It had its 1 year anniversary this May. It has surprised me because you don't know what will happen with it.
Yeah.
I certainly was proud of it. It's a book that has helped many just by giving a boost of anything's possible.
Yeah.
And it's a real life story of my whole life, career, and the risks and the rewards, the pain points, it was I shared all the highs. Any low that I had, I just got right back on the horse the next day. Life happens. And I'm really proud of it. So my book, I enjoy doing intimate gatherings. I love doing conferences to be
Okay.
able to do a business conference or a round table on a subject. So it doesn't have to be one of the chapters. It can be just to talk through any level. Like I like to say that if someone is interested in some new aspirations for their career, new goal setting, a lot of leadership advice on
Okay.
people and business, just how to reinvent yourself and your business.
Okay.
So, I mean, the modern world today is you can't be siloed. And my last few years, and I'm doing it now, is the more the merrier around that business table. I like everybody back to the office and sit around the table and let's work as a team. I talk a lot about teamship with the leadership, and I can't do what I do without the great people I've had
Yes.
around me my whole
Yeah.
career.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that's my book, number one. My business, Terry Eagle Group. I have a great website. I'm proud of it. And that is, it's easy to find, just www.terrieagle.com
Okay.
and also terrieaglegroup.com. And
Oh,
there's hello at Terry Eagle. So if you want to write to me and say, hey, can we have a meeting? I'd like to meet you in person. But if you want to jump on a Zoom first, happy to do it. And I think most of all, I like to share, Kevin, that I have had the incredible opportunity to work with leading brands with transformation, and I've worked when they were tiny and when they scaled. and I'm not shy about rolling my sleeves up, and that carries me through. Like I partner well, and I am a good listener, and I want to deliver what we agreed to get done.
Yeah.
And I do know that everybody needs their back of house looked at, and then we move to the front of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm going to make sure that we include those links. So if you're listening to this, those links are going to be included in the show notes right below. So the links for Terri's website, the link for her book on Amazon, that'll be included. So you don't even have to go hunt it down. It'll be right there handy for you. Just scroll down. It'll be right there waiting for you. Uh,
Thank you.
Terry,
Now,
any
Kevin,
last? Yeah.
yeah, I want to share with you. We talk so much, all the professional, all the this, all the that. I it's almost like being with you. Okay, I have a little Academy Award fever with you. So you get on Kevin's podcast. And so, Kevin, I can't forget to say a shout out thank you to Bart Eagle, my husband of 32 years, Kevin. Now, that is a feat, okay?
Yes,
So,
it is. Yes,
so
it is.
anyway, I did that too. I like to say, boy, Bart is lucky, but I'm lucky too.
Well, you both
So,
are. I was gonna say, and Bart, I'm gonna say that you are lucky, and you know what? I mean, I don't have 32 years. I've got 21, and I
all
am
right.
really blessed. And you know what? I watched this interview between Tony Robbins and Alex Hormozy last week, and it's kind of been this big thing on the internet because Alex is the founder of a company called Acquisition.com, very successful guy, and he interviewed Tony Robbins. And really the interview turned into more of Tony doing a coaching session, and it was
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. But one of the things that Tony said when he told Alex, he's like, he's like, my wife is my biggest reward for doing what I do in this world, and I'm her biggest reward for doing what she does. And I just got to thinking, I was like, you know what? That is exactly how I feel about my wife, Lisa. And I would be willing, Terry, you and Bart are the same way. You were
yes.
each other's biggest reward. and
Thank you. That's
and
beautiful, Kevin. Yeah, his birthday's July 10th and mine is July 16th. So we are two sensitive cancers in the same house with a very spoiled puppy, Kazzy, a Cavachon. So the three of us kind of like make our magic whenever we can. We love Anguilla, we love music, we take in New York City every moment we can and do the
that's
best we can
awesome.
do to be happy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, Terry, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, and I am
Thank
excited
you.
to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. What a pleasure to meet you, Kevin Thompson, and just congrats to you for what you do to give people this opportunity to have an audience with you and your desire to care about people. Thank you.
Well, you are so welcome. You are so welcome.